Olympic Games, Mark Spitz's record-breaking performance at Munich in 1972, where he won 7 gold medals. In 1978, on GSL, host Tom Seaver spoke to him about that accomplishment.
What was it like emotionally for you when you came back to this country?
Well, Tom, it was very exciting. I had mixed emotions, to be honest with you. You know, after years and years of training, it's quite difficult to sum up exactly what somebody feels like. I know that the Israeli tragedy certainly had a dampener on things.
Right.
What actually happened and my winning 7 gold medals became bigger than a reality. It became a tragedy, so to speak, because it was associated with the Israeli massacre.
Now, in the midst of Spitz's amazing triumph was the Munich massacre, the most horrific event in the history of the Olympics. It shocked the world. At 4 a.m., 8 members of the Palestinian Black September group climbed the fences at Munich's Olympic Village. They were carrying automatic weapons. Their objective? Force the release of 236 prisoners, 234 in Israel, and the 2 leaders of a West German terrorist group. The legendary Howard Cosell, who covered the games for ABC, recalled the events of the day with host Ken Howard and how very personal it was for him.
Munich was probably the most dreadful and yet memorable time of my life, because I am Jewish. I lay on my belly on the slope of a tiny hill, maybe 30 yards from Building 31. I saw those faces at the windows with the hoods, and I began to wonder, are any of them left? And I thought about a kid I had gotten to know from Cleveland named David Berger. And another kid, the soccer goalie, Shep Messing, ran over to me and said, "Good God, Howard, what's happening? Can you tell us anything?" And I lay there from morning until the dark of night. And finally, as Jim McKay so eloquently but simply put it in the studio, they're gone. They're all gone.
About 20 hours after it began, 11 members of Israel's Olympic team and a West German policeman would perish, along with 5 of the hostage takers.
Yeah, the question of whether the games would continue is answered by Avery Brundage, the president of the International Olympic Committee. He declared the games must go on. Now, in the aftermath, the Israelis, led by Prime Minister Golda Meir, made it their mission to hunt down the planners of the Munich massacre. They called their program Wrath of God. Palestinians who Israelis believed responsible for the carnage began mysteriously dying throughout Europe, in Rome, Paris, and in Cyprus.
Yeah, among those targeted were 3 Palestinians who were killed in Beirut in April of 1973 by a hit squad dressed in women's clothing. And then 1979, 7 years after the Munich attack, the Israelis took down a man who they considered a leader of that group.